If we're all born equal, why do only a few can achieve greatness? Look around a crowded city street, a sea of faces moving in unison, blending into the anonymity of everyday life. Somewhere in that crowd, one figure rises above the others. What if equality is the greatest myth of all? An illusion designed not to empower us, but to keep the exceptional in chains. Is it possible that in our relentless pursuit of sameness, we've silenced the very forces that drive progress? As the French philosopher Voltaire once wrote, "All men are born with a nose and 10 fingers, but no one was born with a knowledge of God." If our differences are evident at birth, why do we insist on ignoring them? The concept of equality emerged as a revolutionary ideal during the Enlightenment. Thinkers like Rousseau and Jefferson envisioned a world where all men were free and deserving of dignity. In The Social Contract, Rousseau wrote, "Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains." These words inspired revolutions and shaped modern democracy. But Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most provocative philosophers of the 19th century, offered a stark critique. He saw equality as a construct of slave morality, a tool for the weak to suppress the strong. In his book Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche argued that such ideals arise from resentment. The democratic movement is the heir to Christianity, its instinct to make all equal before God, its instinct to value mediocrity above all. This tension reveals a fundamental question. Is equality a noble principle or a mechanism that stifles individuality and excellence? Nature is not equal. From the moment we take our first breath, we are defined by differences, biological, psychological, and environmental. These differences are not flaws. They are the fabric of our existence. Take physical strength. Not everyone can become an Olympic athlete. Intellectual capacity varies. Genius is rare and often misunderstood. Artistic talent, a gift bestowed on only a select few. Consider the case of Mozart, whose brilliance as a composer was evident before he turned 10, or Nikola Tesla, whose inventions shaped modern technology but were often dismissed in his lifetime. These individuals remind us that greatness arises not from sameness, but from the extraordinary. And yet, society clings to the fiction that everyone is equal. Here, we must differentiate between equality and equity. Equality assumes that everyone starts from the same place and requires the same resources. Equity, however, recognizes our unique circumstances and provides what we need to thrive. If we ignore these differences, we risk stifling the potential of those who could lead humanity to new heights. By treating everyone as the same, are we ensuring fairness, or are we suppressing those who could achieve greatness? Greatness is born of individuality. Nietzsche's Ubermensch, or Overman, represents the person who transcends societal norms to create their own values. The Ubermensch does not conform. They rise above, breaking free from the herd to chart their own path. Individuality is the seed of innovation. It allows people to imagine new possibilities and challenge entrenched beliefs. Without it, progress stagnates, and society remains bound to outdated conventions. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly, Nietzsche wrote. The path to greatness requires rejecting the comfort of the crowd and embracing the loneliness of leadership. To break away is to face criticism and misunderstanding, but it is also to experience true freedom. Greatness emerges when individuals trust their vision enough to endure the trials of standing alone, driven by a purpose greater than themselves. But greatness is not without cost. Society often punishes those who dare to stand apart. Galileo was condemned as a heretic for challenging the Church's teachings. Van Gogh lived in obscurity, his art misunderstood and unappreciated in his time. Innovators, trailblazers, and geniuses are frequently labeled outcasts or rebels because they dare to defy expectations. Because greatness disrupts comfort. It forces us to confront new ideas, new truths, and new possibilities, and that is deeply unsettling. People cling to familiarity, even if it means rejecting the very breakthroughs that could elevate them. Those who aspire to greatness must navigate this resistance, understanding that societal acceptance often comes only after their work has reshaped the world. Nietzsche believed that greatness is driven not by luck or talent alone, but by the will to power, the unrelenting drive to overcome obstacles and rise higher. He wrote, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." This philosophy highlights resilience as a cornerstone of achievement, where setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to grow stronger and more determined. This force is rare, but it defines the extraordinary. It is not contentment, but struggle that pushes the boundaries of what is possible. True greatness stems from an unyielding desire to surpass limitations, not just external ones, but also those within oneself. The will to power fuels this journey, propelling individuals to strive for their fullest potential despite adversity. Societies fear difference. Laws, norms, and education systems enforce conformity, rewarding obedience over originality. Schools emphasize standardization over creativity, producing graduates who follow rules but rarely challenge them. This preference for sameness discourages the individuality that drives progress. Nietzsche saw this as a survival mechanism for the majority. Morality is the herd instinct in the individual. Those who challenge the status quo unsettle the collective sense of security, leading to resistance rather than celebration. By fearing difference, society builds barriers that exceptional individuals must overcome. Yet, it is precisely these differences, these unique ways of thinking, that have historically propelled humanity forward. Modern culture exacerbates this fear by celebrating mediocrity. Participation trophies and the uncritical praise of effort over achievement reflect a world unwilling to confront excellence. Instead of encouraging ambition, society often tells us to settle for good enough. Consider Theodore Roosevelt's words, "Far better it is to dare mighty things than to rank with those timid spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much." Yet, today's culture discourages daring, prioritizing safety over greatness. Rewarding mediocrity diminishes the value of true achievement. By failing to honor excellence, we erode the very standards that once inspired humanity to reach for the extraordinary. Here lies the paradox. Equality, intended to uplift the masses, often suppresses those capable of leading them to greater heights. Leveling the playing field risks losing the players who could redefine the game entirely. False equality stifles ambition. Why strive for greatness when society rewards participation equally? Why endure struggle if mediocrity receives the same recognition as excellence? This mindset discourages the extraordinary from pursuing their potential. Progress does not come from treating everyone the same, but from nurturing those who can lift the world with them. History proves that it is the few, not the many, who lead us to new eras of discovery and innovation. Greatness demands courage, the courage to stand apart, to be misunderstood, to endure criticism and isolation. Nietzsche's Ubermensch is not celebrated by the masses, but endures suffering for a higher purpose. To walk this path is to leave behind the comfort of approval and the safety of belonging, trading them for a vision only a few can see. The road is lonely, but it is also transformative. Those who embark on it learn resilience and discover strength they didn't know they possessed. As Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." It is this profound sense of purpose that sustains the great, even in their darkest moments. This is where the challenge lies: to reject conformity, to embrace difference, to pursue the path of the extraordinary, no matter the cost. True greatness comes from stepping beyond societal boundaries, where uncertainty and possibility coexist. Are you willing to rise above the herd? Are you willing to pay the price for greatness? The call to transcend mediocrity is not for the faint-hearted. It is for those willing to risk comfort in pursuit of their highest potential. The question isn't whether greatness is possible, but whether you are bold enough to claim it. We are not born equal, and that's not a bad thing. Greatness thrives in difference, not sameness. It is the few who dare to stand apart who change the world, while the rest remain spectators. I leave you with this challenge. The world needs those willing to rise above, to break free, to lead the way. Will you be one of them?